beautiful our basement, it's Late Night Edmonton with Donovan Extra. Thank you. Welcome to Late Night Edmonton, a show that is barely a step below most public access shows because we can't even really afford a fern. Good joke. So for those of you who are tuning in for the first time, you might not know what this show is about, but what this show is about looking at what makes Edmonton one of the best cities to live in. Be it our comedians, our actors, our musicians, pretty much anybody that makes this the greatest city to be in. Our first guest a bit later tonight, Dion Arnold, one of the greatest comedians this city has to offer. Maybe a little bit less. The structural integrity of this place. Jesus. Oh man. Yeah. Keep the applause a little bit lower. But yeah. So. After the break, we're going to have a little bit of a nice news segment before we move on right into that interview, so I think we're in for a good time. Yeah, all right, I'll see you after the break. Welcome back to the Late Night Edmonton show. I'm your host, Donovan Extra, and I have a little bit of sad news. Our very own Edmonton Oilers are officially out of a playoff spot. It is laughable. I don't blame people in the audience for laughing. But it's still sad. They lost to the Colorado Avalanche 3-2. Oh. That means they went from a 0.0000004% chance down to 0.0000000% chance of making the playoffs. Had they won, they would have gone from a 0.0000004% chance up to a 0.0000005% chance. All I can say is that I am 100.000% sad that our team is not in the playoffs. So let's please have a moment of silence for the Edmonton Oilers' lost season. On a happier note, though, Rupert Appleyard, a local entertainer in Edmonton, is actually making the very first entirely organized balloon show. And ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna beat them to it, right, Tamer? This is gonna be made up entirely of balloons. Yeah. Well, there's always next week's show, but now it's gonna be made up entirely of balloons. Oh God. Anyways. keep blowing those balloons. We're gonna beat somebody. This is gonna be good. We're gonna be fine. Back to a sad note, though. We're just whiplashing right now. And speaking of whiplash, Uber has been banned in Edmonton. However, we do have an insider from Uber who's actually said that they're changing the names of Uber, which means above in German, to the Das ist gut free driving for the mayor of Edmonton, Don Iverson, ja, which in German stands for Uber 2.0. And of course, people do complain about the art in Edmonton, but at least we have the talus balls. At least we have the talus balls enough to spend a whole lot of money on nothing. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Up next, Dion Arnold. Whoa! Welcome back to Late Night Edmonton. I'm your host, Donovan Ekstrom, and up next is a very, very funny Edmontonian, a true Edmontonian, a true blue Edmontonian. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the one, the only, Dion Arnold, everybody. What a professional thing we're doing, isn't it, Dion?
Hey, you had a coffee cup sitting out for me. Yeah. Of course it's professional.
Yeah, we care about our guests.
Yeah, I get to get caffeinated as soon as I sit down.
Exactly, super caffeinated.
It's actually our spit thing. That's what we spit in. Sorry.
Tastes just like my daddy's. Tastes just like my daddy's lips.
Well, that got real. Dion, let's just start going to some questions.
Pull back a bit?
This is going real sideways, and I love it. But let's focus on what we need to focus on. Dion, this is not your first time at this house, is it?
No, it's not. No, I've been here before. Donovan. You brought me here last time, actually.
Yeah, I did.
I believe we met at an open mic.
Yep.
And I bought you a beer because you had no money.
Yeah.
And then you immediately chugged that beer, and they were like, "Thanks, bye," and you left. And then you got a friend from this house to come back and start buying the two of us beers for the rest of the night.
Yes, that was a very good friend.
And
we ended up at a McDonald's?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. and everyone was very mad at us because we were being very loud.
It wasn't everybody, it was one guy.
Well,
and we all got really loud at him.
Yeah, we had like a nice parade him out kind of shouting match.
Yeah!
Well, get out! So really all that happened.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. It was a very
I had a lot of fun. Guys, you had to be there moment, you know?
The best part was that you left out the front door and then you were in the back alley and you just looked lost and sad.
Yeah. And hungry and broke.
We were all in a very, very sad place at that time. Let's just all cry on each other's shoulders right now.
What else is a fraternity for?
Dion, what got you into comedy?
I think it's the same as any comedian. You just get bullied into it.
That's pretty accurate.
You just kind of like, you get punched in the face so many times and people are always like, "How'd you get that black eye?" That you just need to like retain their attention. And so you just, instead of taking a sympathy moment, you just make a bunch of jokes about how you got that black eye, so they're like still listening to you.
And
it's all about trying to make friends out of pain.
This is like what a fun little segment this is. We're on the time of our lives.
Okay, besides that, I mean, my parents were always very funny growing up, and then later on in my life, school, me and my friends really just like stood around at the lockers and just made each other laugh. We spent like 140 hours a year just standing around in a circle making jokes at each other, usually about each other's moms.
Well, that's where comedy starts, right? That's like you're planting the seed of growth, and then it's turning into a full-fledged comedian tree. That is. I'm just curious about what are some of your biggest influence? Has there been somebody that's truly influenced you in the state of comedy? Like one of the first people that you listened to? Oprah?
Oh, you mean comedians?
No, not inspired. There's inspired.
She like bought my family a bed one time.
And you started crying.
Also, she punched me in the face as a child.
This is a horrible person. Boo.
I hope that was for Oprah. Yeah, for Oprah. Yeah, our show's better than yours. Everybody gets a couch! Everyone, just steal something! Go and steal something on your way out! Alright.
Yeah,
Sorry about your furniture.
don't listen to that man. Please don't.
Comedic influences for me growing up were Dylan Moran of Ireland, who's one of my favorites. You should all go check him out. But then like a lot of locals, since I've started doing comedy, are now my influences, such as like Sean Lacombe, Simon Gorsak, who I started Underdog with, and Charles Haycock. And not that we're anything alike, it's just really interesting watching them, and they kind of, because of their different styles, push me to try new stuff.
Oh yeah.
This got really boring.
You recently did a recording, didn't you? A nice little like album recording.
Yeah, we did an album with Comedy Records.
Nice. Woo! Yeah, there you go. Some people clapping. Is that your first time actually recording in front of an audience, or have you had previous experiences with that?
I record all my sets on my phone for myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the first like
Professional.
Yeah, professional novel recording, and it'll be the first one that's actually for sale.
Oof.
So.
You get a
money,
yeah.
suckers.
You get a. Meanwhile, yeah. No, I'm not getting anything from this. When's that going to be released at?
May, June.
May, June.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to have you back on the show again.
There we are.
And then I'll ask the exact same questions, and you're going to do the exact same things, and we're going to have a wonderful time. No.
Welcome to stand-up comedy. Do the same thing night after night.
That is a harshly true reality. But once you get it, it's you know. It's
Look at Russell Peters.
Yeah.
Seinfeld never changed. Still great though.
What about golf, you know?
What's the deal about golf?
What's the deal about golf? Who knew?
Dion, let's get back on track here. Dion, what's the most romantic date spot in Edmonton? Because the show's for Edmontonians.
Most romantic for Edmontonians.
No, like Edmontonians are like this the really cultured yeah.
The Rack.
The Rack.
Just take her and fucking get pinned, bud. Fucking hack darts outside with your buddies and then just smoke her in the back.
I heard that you like ISIS. Can you confirm or deny this?
I definitely confirm. I love ISIS.
Really?
Yeah, from Tim Hortons. 1 cream, 1 sugar.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dion Arnold. He's going to do a nice little comedy set. Give him a round of applause. Sensational. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage to do a wonderful comedy act, Dion Arnold. Give him a round of applause.
Donovan! I don't know his last name because I know his real name and it's not actually Donovan. Well, this got awkward already. Just outing the host for not being a real person. Okay. I have a lot of allergies, so I take a lot of drugs to combat it. I'm on about 6 hits of ecstasy right now. So these lights are amazing. They don't do anything for the symptoms, you just learn to enjoy the sneezes. Just staring into the sun, trying to that's all you do. That's the whole thing. You guys like eating in cafeterias? I love eating in cafeterias.
Because it's like you're eating alone, but you're not. I was eating lunch in the cafeteria with a friend one time, and I bought them home paper garbage because I'm the shit, making origami boulders. But to throw it in the trash can, my buddy reached out and grabbed my arm and said, "You can't do that, because there's a black lady sitting beside the trash can. And if you hit her, that'll look really racist." And I was like, "Yeah, but if I hit her and it goes in, then that's alley-oop." I get to be Steve Nash and play in the WNBA. 2 dreams, 1 stone made of paper. I win it everything. I do a lot of yoga, but that's only because I'm part of a freeze frame charades team. I have a roommate. Anyone else have someone in their life that they just hate? Yeah, right? Yeah. You like can't break up with or hurt emotionally. The problem is that he's a half-asser. He'll make a meal and then he'll only ever eat half of it, and then he'll just saran wrap the other half and put it in the fridge, leaving me with no fridge space, which drives me insane. But I'm very passive-aggressive. Am I dealing with him? So all I've ever done to combat this is I just have a glass of water. And then I drink half of it, and then I saran wrap the other half. And put it back in the fridge. And wait for him to bring it back out to me and go, "Dude, what the f*** is this?" And I'm like, "That's my water, Steve. You put it back in the fridge. I'm gonna drink that later." And then he went, "No! You used my saran wrap!" That's what gets you about that, Steve? You Steve. You piece of shit. So if you ever meet him, call him piece of shit, okay? His real name's piece of shit. He's a horrible person. I hate him a whole lot. You guys ever... I like how just me hating someone, you're like, yeah! It's true. When I was a kid, I always used to like trying to make a ship in a bottle. Now that I'm older, I still like to try and make a ship in a bottle. But by the time I make a bottle empty, I'm not bored anymore. And I completely lack the dexterity to do so. I was in Ireland a little while ago, with the summer this year, and I found out the Irish word. Irish is a language, by the way. It's not just heavy drinking. Weird. I found the Irish word for thank you, which is go ref mahagot, which is a weird word to memorize. And how I learned to memorize it was it kind of sounds like go ahead and my goat. Which, if you think of the Irish and the old like barter trade system, actually totally makes sense as a thank you. You know? I will take this bread from you. How can I repay? Oh, please go ahead and my goat, please. Well, that's all the time we have for this evening. Thank you very much. I'm Dion Arnold. Have a good night. Cheers. Thanks, Donovan.
Thanks, Dion. Ladies and gentlemen, Dion Arnold, one more round of applause. Be sure to tune in next week when we have an improv troupe coming in. Huh? Oh, cool. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been Donovan Ekstrom for Late Night Edmonton. Thank you all for coming out and have yourselves a wonderful week. Woo! Late Night Edmonton, a show that is barely a step below most public access shows because we can't even really afford a fern. Back to a sad note, though. We're just whiplashing right now. And speaking of whiplash, Uber has been banned in Edmonton. However, we do have an insider from Uber who's actually said that they're changing the names of Uber, which means above in German, to the Das ist gut free driving for the mayor of Edmonton, Don Iverson, ja, which in German which in German stands for Uber 2.0. And of course, people do complain about the art in Edmonton, but at least we have the talus balls. At least we have the talus balls enough to spend a whole lot of money on nothing. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Up next, Dion Arnold. Whoa! What's the most romantic date spot in Edmonton? Because this show's for Edmontonians.
Most romantic for Edmontonians.
No, like Edmontonians are like this the really cultured yeah.
The rack.
The rack.
Just take her and fucking get in, bud. Fucking hack darts outside with your buddies and then just smoke her in the back.
I heard that you like ISIS. Can you confirm or deny this?
I definitely confirm. I love ISIS.
Really?
Yeah, from Tim Hortons. 1 cream, 1 sugar.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dion Arnold. He's going to do a nice little comedy set. Give him a round of applause.
I have a roommate. Anyone else have someone in their life that they just hate? Yeah, right? Yeah. You can't break up with or hurt emotionally. The problem is that he's a half-asser. He'll make a meal and then he'll only ever eat half of it, and then he'll just saran wrap the other half and put it in the fridge, leaving me with no fridge space, which drives me insane. But I'm very passive-aggressive in my dealing with him. So all I've ever done to combat this is I just have a glass of water. And then I drink half of it, and then I saran wrap the other half. And put it back in the fridge. And wait for him to bring it back out to me and go, "Dude, what the f*** is this?" And I'm like, "That's my water, Steve. You put it back in the fridge. I'm going to drink that later." And then he went, "No! You used my saran wrap!" That's what gets you about that, Steve? You Steve. Piece of shit. So if you ever meet him, call him piece of shit, okay? His real name's piece of shit.
Be sure to tune in next week when we have an improv troupe coming in. Huh? Oh, cool. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been Donovan Ekstrom for Late Night Edmonton. Thank you all for coming out and have yourselves a wonderful week.